So excited to have back on the department my man, Myron Golden.
Glad to be here, bro.
Thank
Always
you.
good to see you. Always good to have a conversation.
Welcome to Las Vegas.
Yes.
We haven't done a podcast in Las Vegas at the studio.
That's true. We haven't until just now. Yeah.
What do you think about the studio?
I like it.
Pretty
I like
cool.
it. It's cool.
Yeah, a lot of
And
people
it's
say
cold here. It's cool and cold.
cool and cold. So $1 million is just it's really like that place in a person's mind. And I just want to thank you for helping me become a millionaire, by the way.
You're welcome.
What a sentence.
How crazy is that, right?
And what better person to ask how to become a millionaire than somebody who helps people become millionaires
Yeah.
for a living?
Yeah. That's kind of what we do. And millionaires and multimillionaires and multimillionaires. Yeah. All that.
What's the reason why people don't become millionaires?
Because I think they think that number is bigger than them. That's number one. Like people think $1 million. Oh my goodness, that's so much money. I could never do that. Right. Well, you're right. Now you are correct. Right. And so, but $1 million, it's a lot of money, but at the same time, it's not that much money.
Yeah.
I mean, I would hate. There was a time when I could barely fathom making $1 million and had no earthly idea what it might feel like. But I still desired to do it. Now, if a whole year went by and all I made was $1 million, I'd be like, where did I mess up? What did I do wrong?
Mm.
I don't really like a whole month to go by and we don't at least generate $1 million. Now, if I were full time, I would like it to be more.
Right.
So the more realization, I never thought of this before, Omar. The more realization that you have about how much bigger than $1 million you are, the less time it takes you to make $1 million. Never thought of that until just now. Thank you for bringing that up.
Welcome. It's all about the environment. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's exactly it.
Even as you're talking in a, and I have a lot to even process because I did it part-time too.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, and I took off 2 months last year. I got my IG hacked for 2 months. Like I had every reason time-wise not to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But the way you talk about it, it's like conversations you're having in your mind. Like there are voices that you're changing the voice that's speaking about that number.
100%.
How do you control those voices? How do you know what those voices are?
You reprogram them. So if you think about it, none of us were born believing anything. So you weren't born believing that $1 million was a lot of money. You weren't born believing that $1 million was a little bit of money. You weren't born believing that it's hard to make money. You weren't born believing that it was easy to make money. So where did those beliefs come from? They either came from experiences you've had or from other people, right? And so we act like we all go through life acting as if we believe things because they're true.
Correct.
But the reality is we think things are true because we believe them. There's a difference.
Well,
that was good. I wasn't expecting you to say that. Okay. So what if it's hard to make $1 million? What if that's not true? And I'm telling you, it's not. I've made multiple millions of dollars in a day. I made multiple millions of dollars in an hour. So, and you know what's hard? Making $30,000 a year. That's hard. Way harder than making $1 million.
Yep.
So now I get that's easy for me to say. And I know if people are watching us right now, they're thinking, well, that's easy for you to say. Well, yeah, it is. But it's just as easy for you to say. Now, it may not be as easy for you to be intimately aware of and intimately familiar with that idea, but you could just say it just as easily as I do. In fact, I would recommend everybody watching right now on YouTube, just go ahead and say it to yourself. Making $1 million ain't that hard. In fact, it's something I can do. What if you started telling yourself that story? Since the other story is a story either you made up or somebody made up and handed it down to you anyway.
It's I would classify something like that like exposure therapy. When I was exposed.
Ooh, I really like that.
I was exposed to the concept of 100K days, $1 million days from you, exposed to it. And once you get exposed to it, you're aware of it.
And then you saw other people in our coaching program who were doing it, and you thought, you're no smarter than me. I mean, you didn't say that, but you thought it.
I definitely did.
Oh, bro, I met you in the morning.
I said nobody's more gooder than me.
That part.
That's not a
I didn't even know you were from Texas. So the reality is why would I endeavor to do a thing and then assign a level of difficulty to that thing before I even put my foot in the ring? That doesn't even make any sense. So I think the number one reason people don't make $1 million a year or a month or a day, whatever they're
for YouTube
preferred.
SEO,
Right.
$1 million in a year is where people are at, I feel like.
For YouTube SEO, $1 million in a year is where they're at. What does that mean?
That's an easier feat to more people.
Oh, for sure.
Until they clicked on this video and they heard it come out your mouth that you made a few $1 million in an hour.
But I have clients who've made a few $1 million in an hour.
Right.
So I've got this one business who I coached, and they were stuck at $1.2 million for 3 years. And then after they came through our training and they did an event, they had like their first event they did after this training, they did $1.2 million in an hour.
Yeah.
Right. So this is not just something I can do.
Yep.
It's just something that works for anybody who will work it. And so I think the second reason people struggle with getting to $1 million a year is because they don't do the math. And the math is really easy, but you got to do the math to get to the millions.
Ayo.
You got some.
I'm like an MC.
You got some of the funniest phrases, bro.
Yeah.
You said when you said Millie Whopper to me the other day. I was like,
we were golfing.
done.
I was like, yeah, dude, I got a cool house. Like, thank you. Like, you helped me do this.
Yeah.
And it was a Millie Whopper.
Like a Millie Whopper. I've never heard that phrase before in my life. You got some funny phrases, bro. So for real. But yeah, making $1 million. Like, just go ahead and decide that you're not ever going to face anything in life that's bigger than you. You're going to face some things that are going to attempt to make you believe they are bigger than you. But don't buy the lie. It costs too much.
Hey, that's so good. Where do you find the distinction between making the money part the goal and the becoming part the goal?
To me, the ultimate objective of life is the becoming part. Like, be, do, have. So if you will focus on the becoming, the doing will take care of itself. And if you will let the doing take care of itself, the doing will take care of the having. Like, everybody desires to have more, better experiences of life, whether they be financial, relational, health, whatever, right? Energy, good feelings. Everybody desires to have a better experience of life. But in order to have a better experience of life, you have to do better execution in life.
Yep.
In order to do better execution in life, you have to be a better essence in life. And so being is the seed. That's the root system, be. The shoot system that comes up out of the ground, that's do. That's the trunk of the tree. And the fruit system is the part you have. That's the have part of the tree. So be, do, have. Root, shoot, fruit. The same thing is true for human beings. The problem is we don't spend enough time becoming when nobody's watching, so that when people show up and look at us, we're not worth looking at. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Ish.
Yeah, you have this thing that I give you credit for because I repeat it a lot. About how,
say more. No.
Yeah. No,
hopefully my attorneys are watching this. No, I'm just kidding.
No, it's the Abraham Lincoln, prepare yourself and perhaps your time will come. Myron Golden says, prepare yourself or not.
Your time's coming whether you prepare yourself or not.
Yeah. And I'd rather be
prepared when your time comes.
Exactly.
Yeah. Because if you don't prepare yourself and your time comes, life will expose you. But if you do prepare yourself when your time comes, it will reveal you.
What are some things people can do to be preparing and to become a person?
ABL, always be learning, always be growing. Like, always be learning. Like, how can you afford to go through such a magnificent life and not be curious about everything? Right? Like, everything. Be more easily fascinated. Unlock your inner child. Like start asking, how does this work? I wonder how that works. I wonder how this works. Start taking things apart and putting them back together just for the fun of it. And I think you'll be blown away how much amazingness you can discover if you'll just become more curious. So we were on our way here. We had a mastermind in the sky with some of my VIPs, right? And I was talking about why people create content and nobody watches it. Like, what? Like, how do you get thousands of views and tens of thousands of views in the first 24 hours? Well, you have to be more interesting. Now that's easy to say, right? You have to be more interesting. Well, how can I be more interesting? Stop trying to be interesting. That's how you're more interesting. People who try to be interesting are boring. I just want to tell you about me and all my cool stuff and all the cool stuff I've done. And you're like, oh boy, if I could just get away from this person, right? So you don't become more interesting by attempting to be more interesting. You become more interesting by being more interested. Bang. Interested in what? Interested in like how stuff works. So you're curious and you figure out how stuff works. But what if you find a group of people who don't know how stuff works and they want to know how stuff works, and then you figure out what they want to know, how it works, and then you show them, and then they pay you. First, they pay you with their attention, then they pay you with their assets. So what happens is you became so interested in the problem that you solved it, and you became so interested in the people that you shared your solution, and they became so interested in you that they paid you for the solution you provided. It's so simple.
Yeah.
No, you have to be interested enough when you're learning to realize there's no there there. Now, what does that mean?
What does that mean?
Right. So what that means is when you found what seems to be the answer, it is almost always never the answer. It's only first base of the answer. It's only the genesis of the answer. It's only the beginning of the answer. So if every time you learn something new and you got really, really excited about it, what if you had this little infomercial voice in your head that said, but wait, there's more. And then you went to the next layer to discover that next piece of that thing that you were so blown away by. So then what happens is you can start, when you stack the level of intention and intensity with which you are interested in a subject, when you learn those layers, now you can stack layers of epiphanies. I keep hitting your microphone.
No, you're good.
You can stack layers of epiphanies for the people that you're sharing stuff with.
Yep.
And they're like, you just melted my brain.
Right.
But most people aren't interested in going that deep. So they find something on the surface and it's really, really cool. And it's something they never thought about before. It's something other people never thought about before. And then you share that with people and they get really, really excited and they come back for more, but there's no more because you thought that was all there was. And so you didn't look any further.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It makes total sense. Sometimes I just wonder if it's my personality, because like what you're talking about is things to do when no one's watching.
Exactly.
But when no one's watching me, I'm literally on YouTube learning.
Me too.
And my Instagram feed is business advice.
Me too.
I'm in a perpetual state of being
learning
a student.
And growing. Yes.
And I don't. The success of this podcast is purely my curiosity on display. Mm-hmm. And actually people appreciate because like a student, you can't have pride and be a student.
Right.
You have to be humble.
Be more interested in learning than you are interested in people knowing how much you know. Stop attempting to be impressive and be impactful by being curious and interested.
So good. So last night you spoke and you taught on the Millionaire Fast Track. What is the Millionaire Fast Track?
Well, first of all, the Millionaire Fast Track is based on a principle, the first financial discovery of my life. And that is that it's easier to make a lot of money in a short period of time than it is to make a little money over a long period of time. Now, if that's true, and I know it's true.
I know it's true.
Yes. Exactly. Right. Right.
Yeah.
Right. But when you first hear it, you want to believe it's true, but you don't know how. Right. You're like, that sounds really, really good. I'd like to believe that, but I don't know how, because everything that I've experienced so far in my life tells me that making a little bit of money is hard. So making a lot has to be a lot harder. Right. Actually, making 10 times more money is 10 times easier than making the amount of money you're making now. Now, I know that I could just be saying words right now.
You're breaking brains. Yeah.
Right. But what we're really breaking is we're breaking old beliefs, and those old beliefs are in the Bible, they're called strongholds. And a stronghold is a wall of protection that we build around a lie. It's like a fortress that we use to protect the lies we believe. Right. And people don't even realize that they are living in the bondage of their own brain.
Okay.
Right. And so it's easier to make a lot of money. And regardless of whatever the maximum amount of money I've ever made in a short period of time, it was always easier making that amount in a shorter period than it was making that amount in a longer period. And like, I don't set goals. So I don't have a goal to become a billionaire or
Right.
I want to make more money than anybody in the world. I don't really care. I know the money is the byproduct. So that's not my objective. That's just the byproduct. And I like making a lot of money because it gives me way more choices about everything.
Money's awesome when it is the byproduct too.
Exactly.
If it's not the byproduct,
then it's kind of like,
it hurts.
Right. Well, because if you think money is the objective, and then you get money and then you still don't feel fulfilled, now you're like, well, what am I missing? Well, you're missing the fact that money's the byproduct. It's not the objective. I mean, it's an objective of business. Don't get me wrong. Like I could, the stuff that I teach people and they pay me $40,000 an hour for, I could teach them for free. I'm just not going to do that.
Yeah.
I'd just assume they not know.
Yeah.
Right? If it ain't worth it to you to learn it, it's not worth it to me to teach it to you. Anyway, so it's easier to make a lot of money in a short period of time than it is to make a little money in a long period of time. Now, if that's true, then maybe you'd like to make the same decision that I made in 1999 when I discovered this principle. And that is, if it's true, and I believe it is, that it's easier to make a lot of money in a short period of time, it is to make a little money over a long period of time, then I am no longer willing to look at or for the hard ways to make a little bit of money. I'm going to ignore all of them. And I'm only going to look at, and I'm only going to look for the easier ways to make a lot of money. And so because that's as far as a financial quest, that's the financial quest that I have been on since 1999, discovering how to make more money more easily. Now, I know that sounds like, but why would you want to make it more easily? Because that's how life works, right? And if that's how life works, why would I want to make it work a different way? I'm not going to change principles, right? The principles do what they do. Principles are God's automation. It's not going to change just because I don't like it.
Right.
So now, if something is a hard way to make a little bit of money, and what's a little bit of money is going to be determined by whose perspective it's coming from. Like, people come to me and say, "Hey, Myron, I got a great way we can make a couple $100,000." I don't want to have that conversation. I don't care. I don't need a couple $100,000. And the conversation that we're going to have, let's say, "Oh, I've got a great idea. I've got a great idea for you. You can make $10,000 a month." I don't want to talk to you about your $10,000 a month idea. I don't want to talk to you about your $50,000 a month idea. I don't care. It's not that I don't care. I'm not being arrogant when I say that. It's like, it's not worth the conversation to me. I don't need an extra $50,000 a month, and I'd rather have a conversation with my wife, or have a conversation with my granddaughter, or hanging out with some of my golf homies, rather than talking to you about how to make $50,000.
Yeah.
If I'm going to have a conversation about how to make more money, it needs to be significant in order for it to be even worth the conversation to me, where I am now.
Right.
Does that make sense? For instance, I've got a new mentor. He's a billionaire. The dude is just mind blowing. He owns tens of thousands of units of apartments. Here's what he said to me. He told me his story, and it was mind blowing. I told him my story. He's like, "Wow, you're doing really well. But you could do so much better." Like, it made me so happy to know that I'm talking to somebody who can see what I haven't done yet.
Right.
Does that make sense?
100.
And so
I felt like that was you for me. And you told me that.
Yeah.
Like, you knew what, you saw me from a distance. You were consuming some of the stuff I was doing.
Yeah. When you told me how much money you were making, I was shocked.
Right.
Like, wait, what? What?
There's a disconnect.
Yeah. I was like, wait, what happened?
Yeah.
I thought you was Omar.
Cold world.
Yeah. The principles work. Let me ask you a question. I know you're interviewing me, but since you're interviewing me, what goes around comes around, bro. Okay. But I have a question for you. So you came into our environment, you came to Offer Mastery Live, you hear me talking about this stuff. I know it sounded good and you wanted to believe it, but was it kind of hard for you to believe at first?
Sure. There was just it's just spaghetti.
Right. Because you don't know what you don't know.
Right.
Okay. So how did you get past the conversation that you were used to having in your head to allow yourself to receive something that was, for the lack of a better word, so foreign to your way of thinking that, you had to intentionally make it make sense? Well, not even make it make sense, make yourself do it until it made sense, probably.
Correct. I mean, it was probably just a deeper knowing that there was more for me. And by that more, it didn't mean do more. Right. So I think your 1999 revelation of, it was like,
I made $6,200 in 1 week. And I was like, what?
It's easier to make more money
Right.
in a
It
short
was the
period of
easiest
time.
thing I'd ever done at that point.
I have a very similar revelation or pursuit in my entrepreneurial journey. I've always asked myself the question, how can I do less without compromising the quality? And that
is a great question.
In any process. Can we do less and not compromise the quality?
See, okay, so I wrote Boss Moves, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so BOSS is an acronym that stands for Business Optimization Success Secrets. And so that question that you're asking is an optimization question.
Right.
It's how can I optimize this process so I get the maximum output for minimal input without sacrificing quality? That's so good, bro.
And so seeing people that were my age, younger than me, even like I said, not as good as me in my lane,
right?
I'm like, dude, I could do.
If they can do this, I know I'm fixing to get rich.
Right.
Right.
There's a trigger word I have now that I realize as a coach, like and you're a true bread and butter coach. And there are some people that are coaching because it's a good idea, but not because they're good at coaching. But is when I hear the word hard, it's like, whoa.
Yeah.
What's hard about that? And you really unpack it. It's like, you just told yourself it was hard.
Right. 100%.
And so you need somebody like your billionaire mentor to tell you,
yeah, you're doing good, but bro, you leaving a whole lot on the table.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so, none of it, it's so simple. Here's what's crazy. Here's what's crazy about every level up that I've had in my life. Once I leveled up and experienced the new level of whatever that was, it was always using skill sets that I had before I leveled up. So the thing that's stopping you is not a lack of skill set, probably. The thing that's stopping you is a lack of mindset. And so when I say mindset, I might just be talking about awareness. So I don't know if I've ever shared this with you or not, but all the transformation that all your people on YouTube are looking for right now, transformation is a process. And the process of transformation goes like this. Awareness. You become aware of something that you were unaware of. You were totally blind to it. It was a total scotoma, right? It was a blind spot. So awareness, intention, which means now I'm going to do something about this new awareness. Decision is not like a choice. Decide. Latin root, de, of, or from, side, to cut. So now I'm cutting myself off from any other possibility. It's not like I'm going to try. I'm going to try. No, I'm not going to try. I'm doing my best. It's not that. It's I am going to do this or I am going to die executing. But I am not going back down, right? So awareness, intention, decision, and then discipline. And discipline is when you do what you're supposed to do, when you're supposed to do it, the way you're supposed to do it, and you do it that way every time you do it. And that when you put those four components together, transformation is inevitable.